And now we will move to the, let's say, the second leg of the project, so which is more focused on the platform, the online platform that we are going to develop, and also the digital, involving also the digital and the more technological part of the project. So I will leave the floor to Fabio and Chiara from TechSoup, who will share with us some information and updates about the digital platform.
Yes, hello everybody. Sorry, I was looking for my microphone icon. So I will present you some updates on the second leg of this project, which is the technological part, I would say. So we prepared this brief presentation together with Chiara Grassi, who is working with me on this specific part of the project. Of course, everything you are going to see is the output of a collective work. So we are doing this all together, but together with Chiara, we are just focusing a little bit on this presentation. So when we started building up the solution, starting from the features and the requirements that are coming out from the different sessions and the different works that we are doing together with the pilot group, we discovered that we are facing a major issue among many others that are boring technical issues, which is the granularity of data. Which means that for each KPI that we are going to, or each indicator that we are going to represent through visuals, through visual charts or infographics, for each of those indicators, we have different level of details from country to country. So the wonderful table and the Excel file that Laura showed us previously highlights this challenge. Not all the countries measure the same indicators. Not all the countries do that with the same frequencies. Not all the countries do that with the same level of detail, with the same level of granularity. So we have to make sense of these different approaches to measurement, and we must build an information system that is capable to take into account this kind of heterogeneity across the different across the network. So in this presentation, we are going to present with this challenge in mind. We are going to present you a brief schema of the overall architecture of the system, plus a few mock-ups, which are not screenshots, but are like interface sketch of what we are going to develop. Of course, this is a still ongoing process, because as we move forward through the project, we discover more on the indicators and on data and on everything. So probably in the next weeks, we are gonna make some changes in these interfaces, but the overall architecture should be defined at this time. So basically, in this schema, you are seeing the overall architecture of the system. So starting from the very left side of this slide, you see that we are going to input data in several forms. We are not sure if we will be capable or not to support all these different ways to import data. at least in this version. I mean, maybe for the pilot project, we will rely only on manual insert or in Excel insert. All these data are taken, manipulated, and then stored, saved inside our database. So inside one unique online database. And then they are processed through some algorithms in order to create, to populate the different KPIs that we are going to insert into the platform. Those KPIs, those indicators, are then visualized through third-party libraries. So we selected a few data visualization tools. We have a very short list that we are going to rely on. So we will be capable to display in a nice way those KPIs that will come from the data sets of the pilot group food banks. Then when we have such visuals, widgets, we will be capable to embed those visuals inside some different dashboards. So a dashboard is a set of different visuals, like a set of different multiple charts, for example, okay? And those dashboards will be public or private, meaning that public means that everybody can see, can access that dashboard, while private means that only authorized people can access such a dashboard. Moreover, the dashboards will be global, meaning that we can display data, aggregate data from different countries, or local, meaning that we can display data only related to a specific country. So this means that local food banks, country food banks, will be capable to have their own dashboards. Once again, we are not sure that in the very first release, so in the release of this related to this project, we will be capable to have all these features, but still this is the overall picture, the overall design, system design. In these slides, I'm just telling you that we are by digging deeply into the analysis of data, we discovered that probably we have to rely on different types of data. This is a very IT-oriented schema, which means that we have some parameters and some variables that we combine through specific algorithms in order to populate the different KPIs, the different indicators. So let's take a look to how the platform will look like. First of all, now I'm going to show you the back end of the platform, meaning that I'm showing you the part that will be used by food banks, okay? So it's a sort of private area, accessible through via login, meaning that you need a username and password in order to access the platform. And once you enter the platform, basically you will access to something like this. So first of all, you will have a status dashboard, meaning how much you're using the system. So how many reports, how many dashboards, how many KPIs, how many rows, meaning how many data we synced, we imported, how many views were made by the different reports, and so on. So you will have like a status dashboard, meaning a section where you can have an insight of how good is used this platform. Then of course there will be a section to manage users. This is simple to be understood. If the platform is accessible only through a valid username and password, this means that we need to manage users somewhere. Nothing special to do here. And then let's come to the most important part of this platform, the KPIs section. This is a section where you will find different KPIs. Some of those will be created directly from FIBA, by FIBA. Some of those will be created just by local food banks, so will be seeable just by them. Sorry. So each KPI will be defined by a title, a category, one or more, a status. So we will have some KPIs active, some KPIs archived. Each KPI will have an author, meaning who created that KPI and which was the last time in which we measured that KPI. What is the last time in which we valued that KPI? As you can see, close to each KPI, we will have 3 dots, which is a contextual menu. That will add, will let us to make some actions on each KPI. For example, edit the KPI, meaning naming changing its title or the category or its status, delete the KPI, and then also add new measure to that KPI. A measure is an event that that gives a value to one or more KPIs. Okay, so we have a KPI and then we have a set of measures. The measure is the moment in which we declare that one KPI has a specific value. Okay, so let's see how this measurement event will occur, will happen. For the moment, we conceptualized this event in this way. So basically, we can add a daily value, and this is about granularity. So meaning that we have the most detailed measure that we have of one specific KPI is daily. For example, daily tons of food that we collected, okay? Or also the daily number of food banks that are active in one day, for example, okay? So if we have this value available daily, then we select daily value, we input the value we are gonna declare, and then we define the span of time in which that daily value is valid. In this case, for example, we are saying that in one specific country, we have 21 active food banks, and that this measure is valid from 15th of November till 22nd of November. Okay, this is a very, if you want, simple example, but it lets you to understand how the system works. In the right section of this page, you see a calendar where green and full dots means that represent that there was a manual input, so that you specified that there was an input. Green and circled and empty dots means that the value is available, but it was calculated by the system. In a second, I will show you how. Red dots means that we are missing that measure. So in this case, for example, for this KPI, number of registered food bank, we are missing data from on the 8th of November, okay? In order to facilitate and to align the different food banks on the comprehension of what does it mean each KPI, we added this question mark. When you go over this question mark, you have the official definition of this KPI as it was defined by the pilot group. Of course, this is a placeholder. It's not an official definition. I mean, it's just a sample text that I put there in order to show you this functionality. Of course, we also can insert period values, meaning that, for example, in these cases, in some cases, sorry, like the daily tons of food, we make this measurement not daily, but bi-weekly, for example. So we have this value, but we have this value not related to one single day, but to an interval of time. So we have to split this period value across several days, across a number of days that are included into the interval. So the user will insert the input, the period value, then will specify the length of this period, and the system will split that value across the different days that are included into the interval, making an average calculation, so a calculated value. Each time a measure is inserted as a calculated value, the calendar on the right part will be populated of green but empty dots that will represent the fact that the measure is actually inserted into the system, but that was calculated by an algorithm. Basically, it's a simple average across different days. Okay, this is just a way to tell you that these measures will be importable through a CSV file or an Excel file, meaning that you will not required to manually input all the data, of course. We are still analyzing the feasibility of this feature, because what we are thinking about is preparing a scalable system that can import and load data from different Excel files, no matter how they are built. So basically what can happen is that FIBA sends to you an Excel file to be filled in, you upload the file, and then the file is parsed and imported into the system. Then there is the last part of the last section of the platform, which is related to reports. Basically, we have all the reports here. Each report has a title, can be local or global, meaning that can be usable only by a local food bank or by the whole network. It's available for the whole network. It has a status, active or not active. It has an access level, meaning that you can have a local report which is public. Everybody can access that report, or you have a local or global report that is private, meaning that only people with username and password can access this report. Of course, it has an author and a publishing date. This is how the report appears. I mean, it's just a mock-up once again, but these charts, these visuals, come from the third-party services that I mentioned you in the very first slide. Basically, a report is a set of different visuals that are coming from specific data visualization libraries that we are using inside our platform. So basically, once again, to summarize this architecture, system architecture, we have we define KPIs. We populate KPIs manually or importing data from an Excel file, and then we visualize those KPIs through specific visuals like these ones that I'm showing you. and we embed these visuals inside public or private dashboards. Okay. All right. Hope this was interesting and understandable. I did my best. I mean, it's not super simple to talk about digital information systems that are ongoing, on progress, but we wanted to make you aware about the direction we are moving to. Okay, so hope this will be interesting and helpful for you.
Thank you, Fabio. Thank you very much for your presentation, and of course also thank you to Chiara. And well, what I would like to highlight of your participation in this project is that you are also, you are contributing with the technological part, the digital part of the project, but also bringing a lot of flexibility and really an agile approach, which is useful, and it's really I'll say appreciated by our organization, because we are realizing that there are many challenges, many diversities, and also many difficulties in the different, when managing and aggregating the data from the different countries. And the fact that you are contributing with a lot of flexibility is really helpful and is really appreciated. So thank you again.